Welcome to Egypt, land of sand and camels. Egypt has a rich history that goes back thousands of years. Unfortunately, not all of the history is pyramids and mummies. According to the WHO, health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. Indigenous health is a balance of physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional health. Let's talk about critical social theory. Critical social theory says that socially and historically derived stereotypes lead to persecution and disadvantages because of power hierarchies that influence health. Critical social theory acts to empower, enlighten, and emancipate for justice, equity, and freedom. Today we'll be focusing on the Coptic people of Egypt and the main health-related issue of safety. Coptic Christians are being targeted and killed. There are two main religious groups in Egypt, Muslims and Coptic Orthodox Christians. If you didn't know, many global conflicts stem from religion. The epicenter of Muslim-Christian conflict is over the city of Jerusalem. The Muslim conquest of Egypt occurred in 639 AD, where gradual conversion to Islam occurred. Historical Muslim and Christian tensions have led to years of conflict in the Middle East. The Coptic people are oppressed as a religious minority, making up approximately 10% of the Egyptian population, and they must face multiple health challenges related to unequal human and political rights, lack of religious freedom, including not being able to build and repair churches, human trafficking, poverty, forced marriages to Muslim men, forced conversions, and constant violent attacks that are increasing in frequency and severity. Many of these attacks are on sacred days or target religious locations. Egypt is ranked 18th for people under threat according to the 2017's People Under Threat Index. A theological dispute over Jesus Christ fuels the Muslim point of view. The Muslims consider the loss of Jerusalem the greatest loss in their history. After the Christian Crusades, Muslims felt they had neglected their religious duties. Therefore, the only way to satisfy God would be to fight in a counter-crusade. Samar Assad, a Coptic Christian, stated, the state can't do everything. We're a big family. We could all come up against such problems, and we all need to help each other out. Given what's been going on, terrorism is clearly everywhere. Bishop Angelos of the Coptic Orthodox Church stated, at the bombing in St. Peter's Church in Cairo, it's really difficult to understand the society of someone who tries to cause such indiscriminate carnage, especially at a time of vulnerability when people are standing and praying. He further explains how even though there is a greater intolerance for the Coptic people, they have never retaliated violently and are an extremely resilient group. This parallels with the Hmong people, who also avoided violence and have shown great resilience during times of persecution. The distress of the Coptic people is not unlike that felt by the Hmong people. They too experienced persecution. However, it was more for a difference in culture than a difference in religion. The Hmong quote from the novel The Spirit Catches You and You Fall Down by Anne Faidman states, enemies of all sorts had tried to cross our frontiers to destroy our people and to destroy our religion, and our nation's aura of peace and concord. Foreign countries do not care about our interest or peace, they are concerned only with their own interests. Since fleeing their homeland, they have continued to be discriminated against and persecuted in every region or country they have inhabited. Another quote states, after 2,000 years, we can still say we are the Hmong. The Coptic and the Hmong have both resisted assimilation for thousands of years and are still faithful to their roots. In recent years, radical Muslim extremist groups such as ISIS, the Holy Warriors of Egypt, and Al-Qaeda have been terrorizing the Coptic people. This leads to our main health issue of safety. Now let's talk a little bit more about religious persecution. Many of our sources have a pro-Christian view since they are heavily westernized, such as BBC, CNN, and The National, providing an outsider perspective. Limits to using Egyptian sources include language barriers, as well as controls and restrictions on media, and many of the private media sources being funded by the Muslim Brotherhood, creating a bias in the source. The Copts are also a minority in Egypt that doesn't seem to be researched often. In the 1940s, Copts sided with the Arabs in Israeli conflict, but unfortunately, Copts often became the victim of political abuse and physical assault. From 1978 to 1979, there were multiple violent conflicts between Muslims and Copts, and Pope Shenouda III, the Coptic pope at the time, was exiled. In 1981, the assassination of Sadat left a divided nation, resulting in sporadic discrimination against the Copts throughout the late 1900s until present day. In July 2005, a series of bombings targeted a resort city, killing 88 and wounding more than 150. In 2011, a car bomb went off outside a Coptic church after an evening service, killing at least 23 and injuring 43. On December 11, 2016, an explosion next to St. Mark's Coptic Orthodox Cathedral killed 29 people. In August 2013, after the July 3, 2013 coup, attacks on Coptic churches and institutions in Egypt by Sunni Muslims escalated. This event resulted in approximately 1,000 people losing their lives. This marked a peak in violence with frequent assaults on Coptic churches, houses, and shops. On April 9, 2017, Palm Sunday, twin suicide bombings killed 45 and injured 126. This resulted in a 3-month state of emergency being declared. May 26, 2017, the eve of Ramadan, a masked gunman ambushed a convoy of 3 vehicles filled with Coptic Christians. 28 people died. The most recent attack occurred on December 2017, where an armed man opened fire on a Coptic church, killing 9 people. With critical social theory in mind, social and political laws and policies need to be enforced to protect and emancipate the Coptic minority from oppression. We need to reestablish their physical, spiritual, mental, and emotional health through providing safe places to live, work, and pray. Thanks for watching!